G'day guys, and welcome back to our week 2 game of the APA's Little Cup Wi-Fi League. Um, this week we are playing Matt and his Montreal Milotics. Yep, they're a common theme on this channel whenever it comes to Little Cup. Matt and his now fire new logo seem to beat us down at every turn. But this time I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it's time to break the 5-0 curse. We're gonna try and get a dub here. We've got the team to do it. If anyone missed the power rankings, Silver, Seraph, one of our good buddies, actually put us first with our fire team. So we've got all the tools that we should be able to pull out a win. Matt's team, if I forget to put it up on the screen, it will be Drifloon, Anorith, Riolu, Electrike, Alolan Diglett, Wooper, Alolan Grimer, Swaddle, Spoink, and Baneri. And already looking at that team, there are a lot of threats. Drifloon, that thing can, with the Unburden, Berry Juice, Recycle, it can set up. Ghost Flying are two very nice types to hit in Little Cup, and two types that kind of do really well against my team, minus a couple mons. That thing can win. Anorith is fast, it can spin. Bug and Rock are two very good offensive typings, get some nice coverage. Riolu, that thing. Riolu's a mon that I really don't... I've never used Riolu, and that's because I attempted to once, and it went really badly for me. I know that it can Swords Dance, I know that it gets copycat shenanigans with Prankster, so it's like, got all this, I know it gets Bullet Punch, it usually runs High Jump Kick. But other than that, I'm really not too sure, but I do know it's a threat. You got Electrike, which anyone who missed Matt's week 1 game, that thing went in against a team that didn't have a immunity to it. That could just come in and click Thunderbolts, it could flamethrowers. Like, it did the finest of work for him. Alolan Diglett, that thing's fast. It gets some great coverage. It doesn't quite get the trapping that regular Diglett does, and it's not quite as fast, but that thing's still nice and fast, and it does quite a lot of work. Then moving on, Wooper. Like, Wooper is actually quite a nice answer to some setup mons that I have, namely the Tortuga, because it does get unaware, so I can Shell Smash all I like, and that thing will not be affected. We've got the Alolan Grimer. That thing's very fat, it's only weak to ground. He's got a couple of good ground switch-ins on his team. Well, he has a good ground switch-in on his team in Drifloon. So yeah, that thing can be really annoying. Dark is one of the 3 main types you want to hit in Little Cup. You got Swaddle, that sets webs. Spoink, it's just nice and fat. It's very specially defensive. And then Baneri can run through teams. So, getting into the 6 that I'm bringing this game, we're going to start off with Unsheathed our Pawniard. And Pawniard this week, looking at his team, he doesn't have a switch in. Dual stabs, there's no what switches in. Like, anything that resists Dark, which is the Riolu and the Grimer, yeah, that's just those two, get blown back by Astelium Z Ironhead. Does a lot of damage. Knockoff spreading is phenomenal this game. Obviously the Riolu, that thing actually doesn't get Mach Punch. It only gets Bullet Punch for priority, if I'm not mistaken. As I said, I could be very mistaken with Riolu. But yeah, so that's gonna be our Pawniard set this week. Just taking a look at the EVs, very professional. You actually can't really see a lot there. Let me just... Yeah, that helps a little bit. You can barely see the 14 behind that Zapdos. That's a speed we're hitting. It's just max attack, hit as hard as we can. 14 speed's all we needed, because you will see in a second that we are bringing the Cutie Fly. And just throw the rest into HP, because Pawniard's very naturally bulky, although we're not running the Eviolite this week. It can take a lot of more so physical hits than Spadef, because it only has that base 40 Spadef, but just help us chew a bit better. Moving on, we've got Booty Fly, Cutie Fly. That is the most horrendous nickname. It was suggested by one of the guys in a Discord server, and yeah, look, fair to say that Cutie Fly might have a new nickname next week. This is the Sash, lead, sort of annoying Cutie Fly. Like, what's his only resist to Moonblast is the Alolan Diglett, and that thing is frail as hell, so it's still taking a chunk, and we can also U-turn out on that thing because we speed tie, or we have a couple of nice switch-ins for it. Focus Sash with Sticky Web, Defog, Moonblast, and U-turn. We're running max speed, outspeed, everything except that Alolan Diglett, and we do speed tie with that thing. We're going to throw max special attack just to hit those Moonblast nice and hard, and then 36 into HP defense and special defense just to round it out. Yeah, negative attack nature because I'm not really trying to do a whole lot with U-turn. I'm just looking to get some chip and some momentum. Next up, we have Crush our Tortuga running the Berry Juice with Sturdy. You've got Shell Smash, Aqua Jet, Rock Slide, and Hidden Power Grass. And this set was like Aqua Jet plus Rock Slide. Rock Slide did a lot. It hit, just looking at his team, it hit most of his mons at least neutrally, and anything that resisted it, like the Alolan Diglett, like the Riolu, they're not the most bulky mons, and a +2 Aqua Jet does a lot. So we're running 100 speed, just enough to outspeed all of his mons once we get to +2, because I didn't really see any relevant Scarfers that we could outspeed. That 176 in special attack is to do a whole lot to that Wooper, which I thought would be the main check to this thing coming in this game, with Hidden Power Grass, and then just the max attack Adamant with a little bit extra thrown into defense with a minus SPDEF nature this week. Moving on, we've got Campion 1930 to our Doduo. Still, anyone gets that reference, let me know in the comments down below. We got Berry Juice with Tangled Feet, Agility, Brave Bird, Knockoff, and Jump Kick. Now, same situation as last week. This Mon can 6-0 Matt's team if we get a little bit of chip, but he does have some answers to Brave Bird, which is why we are running the Berry Juice Agility set. We got Tangled Feet just because, well, there's not really any mons that are going to be putting us to sleep, so we didn't really need that. If we get confused by, I don't know, a Psychic from Spoink or something, then our evasion goes up. I don't know. Ability wasn't really necessary. We're just running max speed, Jolly to outspeed everything, if I'm not mistaken, bar the Alolan Diglett before an agility, and then once we agility up, we outspeed everything, like, regardless. Max attack just to hit nice and hard. We got the Brave Bird, the Knockoff, and the Jump Kick hit phenomenally on his team, and that thing just, it goes in this week. Moving on, we got Motorhead, our Ace of Spades, the Sandygast, rocking the Eviolite with Water Compaction, Shore Up, Earth Power, Shadow Ball, and Stockpile. This was our Alolan Diglett check. This was our Riolu check. This is our Anorith. This checked a lot of his physical threats. And then, so, the plan with this guy here is he's rocking the Eviolite, so that's SPDEF. Well, the defense goes up to 27, a very fat, physically defensive Sandygast, and our special defense goes to 18. And so we're going to switch this thing in on a Alolan Diglett, say a Rock Slide or an Earthquake. We're not going to take much. And then he's probably going to want to switch into something special like a Drifloon to hit this thing very hard. So we can either, if he brings a different special attacker, something like a Hidden Power, probably not switching in the Electrike, but something like a Spoink or one of his other special attackers. He actually doesn't have too many, which is why this set is really nice this week. We can either predict that switch by going in for a Shore Up to just get up to full, and then we can switch out. We can go for an Earth Power or a Shadow Ball to hit it super effectively, or we can go for a Stockpile. And Stockpile raises our defenses even more, so this thing becomes just a fat wall that he needs to either set up in front of to beat, or he can't beat, he needs a Toxic or something, which I don't really see him fitting Toxic on his team, unless maybe that Grimer, but that thing usually wants to run a nice bit of coverage to punish switches against it. So I thought this was a pretty nice set. And then last but not least, we have Good Night, our Crabrawler, with the Eviolite, the Hypercutter ability, rocking just a 4-attacking, nice, fast Crabrawler with Close Combat, Earthquake, Stone Edge, and Thief. Thief to hit that Drifloon super effectively, and also, very critically, if we do get knocked off by either the Grimer or the Anorith, probably the Grimer more so, because we could be switching into that thing's knockoff. We lose our Eviolite, then the Drifloon comes in with Thief, we take that thing's Berry Juice, we might get a little bit of health back, but we also stop its Unburden, and that was something that I thought was really nice this week. We're running max speed to speed tie with a lot of things, we're hitting as hard as possible, Even though we're running the EV Light, we're just putting that little bit extra into SPDEF to get us to 18 on both our defenses, which is very nice. We can eat a few hits, and yeah, so that's what we're aiming for this week. But that's the team. Let's jump straight into the battle against Matt. And as you can see, looking first at the screen, this is from Matt's side, and that's because I made a big boo-boo. As you can tell, I'm still quite new to this little cup, and I forgot to save our battle afterwards. I just was like, okay, yep, battle's done. I'm gonna switch off and go do something else now. And then I got to a couple of days ago when I tried to record this, or start doing the slides for this, watch it back, maybe pick a thumbnail. And I was like, hang on, why don't I have a battle here? I only have one from last week. And so Matt was kind enough to let me use the battle from his side, so it'll be much the same, except you'll be seeing my mons on the other side of the screen, and we'll be seeing Matt's on the close. But once we've got my little boo-boo out the way, we're going to get straight into this. And there we go. We're going to just wait for this thing to start up. And as you can see, looking at the lead matchup, here we go. You're challenged by me. Weird screen to see. But he's going to lead with his Anorith, as I thought, you know what, Pawniard it has a great matchup. And as you'll see, I'm just going to pause it here. I was thinking, okay, this thing, what's taking an Iron Head here? What's taking a knockoff? He's thinking probably doesn't want to take an Iron Head. But then this happens, as you'll see. He busts out the Brick Break, and I was a little too rushed in this. I forgot this thing got Brick Break, and we've lost Pawniard, a very important member of our team, on the first turn. As we go into Goodnight here, I'm thinking, okay, let's fire off a big hit here. He goes for the Aerial Ace, another bit of coverage that I probably should have checked this got. As you can see, I'm playing kind of sloppy. That does 60% or so to us, as we're going to bop that thing with a Stone Edge. And Goodnight is getting his first kill of the match against Side Eyes, the Anorith, and hang on, I need to take a couple mons off the layout. As Drifloon comes in, and I thinking, oh no, this is the subset. We speed tie this thing before its Unburden goes off, so I'm just going to stay in here and try to stop this thing setting up. I'm bulky, so if he's not much investment, I might be able to live something. I'm going to go for the Thief here just to break the sub. Also was hoping to break the sub because I thought that, well, I didn't want to miss a Stone Edge. And here we finally win a speed tie, and we say see you later to the Drifloon. And so we are up 5-6 at this point, and I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good. Goodnight's come in and done work. He sends out Owen Wilson, his little Diggler, and I'm just like, I don't really want to take an EQ. We got a designated check to this thing. Sandy Gas comes out there with his little arms and his shovel. He goes for an Iron Head, and that does like 25%, 20%. As he throws up his Stealth Rocks next turn, as I decide to go for an Earth Power. I'm thinking now that Drifloon's gone, nothing wants to really take this. It brings him down to his Sash, and I'm thinking, alright, this is working out nicely. As he goes for a Memento, and I'm like, that's an interesting move. You'll see that I actually decided to go for the Stockpile here. I'm thinking he's got his rocks up, there's not really a lot that he can do. He's probably going to switch into something that can take a hit a bit better. So I'm now at -2 attack, -2 special attack, +1 in both my defenses, as he goes into this Riolu, and I don't really know what this thing wants to do. And I'm thinking, okay, so he's got the Swords Dance. That's terrifying. Just very terrifying. And I'm thinking this thing should be able to wall it a bit. As I go for an Earth Power, and that does 4 damage, as you'll see. And I'm like, okay, that's the -2 special attack coming through. I'm going to switch out. This thing should still be able to check it. I go into Goodnight here, as he goes for another Swords Dance, as I'm thinking, okay, I should be able to do a good amount to this, because I'm outspeeding, as he goes for the Bullet Punch. So we've seen 2 of his moves already, and in the back of my head, I'm thinking, okay, he probably wants fighting coverage to hit a couple of the mons that are fighting weak, even the Doduo is neutral. And so I'm thinking, okay, so Copycat's his last move. Motorhead walls this thing because Bullet Punch does nothing at +6 as long as I get, say, one stockpile up. And so I just send out Motorhead here. And as you'll see, this is going to be a very big mistake. I go for Shore Up, by the way, looks really cool on Wi-Fi. I'm still loving how cool all the moves look. We get our HP back. That was hopefully just to scout how much a Bullet Punch would do. And then he whips out the Shadow Claw. And at this point, that blows me back as, yeah, so we've now got a +6 Riolu. And, yeah, the most physically defensive mod on my team is down. I'm thinking, can I go into Crush? Can I maybe live something? As he goes for the Drain Punch, because I was thinking, oh, maybe he doesn't have fighting coverage because he's got Copycat to outspeed some of my fast things. But no, he's got Drain Punch. And so, thinking that he has the Copycat probably cost me the game there. Not gonna lie. Go out into Doduo here, thinking, okay, can we by some miracle live a Bullet Punch if he's like no attack, super bulky because he wants to eat hits because we've already seen his Eviolite, but nope, Doduo just drops. And yeah, now he's sending Cutie Fly, which is our last one. I've forgotten to get Crab Brawler off the layout. And just look how quick Cutie Fly drops here. That's a Bullet Punch, and Cutie Fly hits the field, and no sooner does it drop, and that's gonna be our battle. We're gonna lose. Whoop! I forgot. I'm doing a great job with this light of editing. We're gonna lose 3-0 to Matt. We broke the 5-0 curse, which was what I stated at the beginning of the video. I was confident we do. I didn't mean in this way when we'd still lose. So we are now 1-1. That's all right. That was just poor prep on my end. I don't think I do think I played that poorly because I didn't really stop and think, okay, what can this Riolu do? How can I stop it from just setting up and winning? Calcing a bit more is probably what I should have done. But Matt is one of the best Little Cup battlers in the league. He is phenomenal. And so I'm alright dropping to him early in the season. We are 1-1. Hopefully looking to bounce back next week against one of our good buddies, Tony. And I've got I think he's the Austin Napalms. I don't know. We'll find out next week. But that's going to be everything from me today. And for now, guys, I will see you later.